Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we are going to be looking at Bitcoin and its recent price action, again to the upside. If you do like this video and the other videos that I make on this channel, be sure to hit the like button down below and also consider subscribing. Well, at this point, it comes to maybe no surprise to anyone, but Bitcoin has passed $25,000 since last night, and we have been flirting with 26,000 on Binance. It has I just saw it just wicked up to 26, and uh, now it's coming back from the one video that I was talking about with Bitcoin and it reaching a certain price level in in a short amount of time, I would sell part of my position, and we got to that point. It was 26 to 28,000, depending on the speed of the price. And right now we've moved to 10% in the matter of a week, and we have gotten to that level. So within a week, if it hit 26, I'd sell at 26. If it went longer for a week, then I'd be waiting for a higher price. But as we've seen here, uh, it came within a week. And so with that, my limit order was hit right at $26,000. And that money did not go into stable coins, that went into fiat. Simply because I'm still unsure of at this moment in time. So is this profit that I took going to come back into Bitcoin? I'm not too sure. Especially if it keeps going up, I'm not going to be throwing it back in there. It's if it does come back down to like the 20-week, for example, then I would consider it. But going off of my previous videos talking about Bitcoin, about if it gets to a certain percentage above the 20-week, if it gets to a certain part of the RSI, then we get to the point of Bitcoin where we're getting too high. I mean, high or well above the 20-week is great, but when we get to a certain level, the price is just too high above the 20-week, and then the 20-week is just unable to hold that price. So we've seen it time and time again. We saw it here in 2017 when Bitcoin was 182% over the 20-week moving average, and in 2019 where we did see this wick here. So it doesn't necessarily show how high we went, but if we enter, oh sorry, wrong one. If we go to the, not the open, sorry, the high of that, then you'll see we went to 109% above the 20-week moving average before coming back down and hitting the 20-week. So those are things to consider right now. At a closing price, we're currently 76% above the 20-week moving average, and we're getting higher and higher. Last week was 67%, and right now we're close to 76. Another thing to consider now is the RSI. Bitcoin doesn't necessarily have to respect that. We've been saying that Bitcoin needs a correction. It'd be healthy for Bitcoin to have a correction. We also went into the possibilities of why Bitcoin doesn't need to correct. It doesn't need to act rational in times of exuberance. And you can argue that that's already started. But right now the RSI is at 89.83. We've seen peaks fairly high and around that level. We saw 89.95 here on June 2017. We've seen at the very top, peak of 2017 was 90.22 RSI. We've seen RSIs of 85, of 87, of 80.22, again 89.895. So we're getting to that point in time on the weekly RSI that we're hitting that top region. Now again, it does not need to respect that. We've been shown time and time again how Bitcoin doesn't need to respect that. You could see that the RSI has gone as high as close to 100, 99.42, and as high as 96.37. Those are high numbers, high RSI numbers. And when we look at 89.82, we're still well beyond that. But there are more instances of when Bitcoin hits the high 80s and low 90s, not even getting to 90, and it correcting back down. So we're at that stage. And because we've gotten to this price fairly quickly in a short amount of time, don't get me wrong, I want Bitcoin's price to go up, but at some point you need to look at the price and see how fast we've come here. We can even take a date and price move from March, and bring it up to where we are, and it has taken less than a year to go up 563% on Bitcoin alone, and here we are at $26,000. So this is quite astonishing. The 20-week moving average is at 14,692, 14,7, if you want to round up. And every week the moving average inches higher and higher, and it will catch up. And so our target now is same as as it's been in the last Bitcoin video, where 20-week moving average will eventually get up to this 20K mark, and we'll see what Bitcoin does then. It could correct before then, but if anything, this might be a word of caution to people who hold Bitcoin, especially if you bought up over 20K, because the risk here is incredibly high. Well, not incredibly high, but it's a lot higher than it has been before, especially with the RSI at this level. We've been here for quite some time, above 70, and again, there are arguments on both sides of the aisle on should and should Bitcoin need to correct back down. We've been through these ideas before of why it does need to and why it doesn't need to, and it comes back to the video of throwing TA at the window at this point, and and just kind of letting it ride. But this takes in some credence of, yes, letting Bitcoin ride might be a strategy, but along that ride, you need to offset your risk. You need to sell parts of your position. It doesn't have to be a giant chunk, but it should gradually increase over time, because you want to lock in those profits. Let's move on to the dominance, because today is Saturday. It's the day after Christmas. I would, there's arguments to say that there's not much activity happening, but look at where we are. We're at $26,000. Bitcoin never sleeps, and neither do I. So in that sense, the Bitcoin dominance is now at 70.26. We wicked up as high as 71.14% dominance on with Bitcoin, which brings us, past. We wicked higher than in the peak of December 16th, the week of December 16th, 2019, and now we're coming to the points of the beginning of where we've been looking at this downtrend, and this is quite unexpected. We we saw three times that Bitcoin respected this trend, and here on the fourth time it did not, and and it's kind of hard to see where Bitcoin's going to take the reverse. Does it go to 90? I don't think so, but it could be soon. When we do take a look at Bitcoin's price, how far it's come up, and I mean, also looking at just the state of altcoins are extremely undersold. Bitcoin's extremely overbought. At some point the tables will turn, as it always has, and that my position on that has not changed. What might have changed is maybe when. As for me, I was expecting around this week or last week, where we hit this line again and come back down. Hell, I even expected it in November, when we hit that level and came back, started to come down. I thought this is the resurgence of altcoins. This is the time, but Bitcoin had none of that. XRP had none of that, and that really affected how dominance is playing out with Bitcoin. And now Bitcoin's at 70% dominance. We'll see how higher it gets. It could very well come to the point where we reach September 2019 highs on the dominance, as we've pretty much already have wicked up to the bottom of the candle here. I'll take out these drawings so you can better well see. But if we line it up, 71.919, we're at the bottom portion of the candle of the week of September 2nd, 2019. If we wicked as high as 73, then we're at the top region. And if it breaks that, then it's really Bitcoin's never been higher in the past 2-3 years, let's say. The last time it was this high was July 2017, where the high was 79.29 on Bitcoin dominance. So, those are things to consider. Another thing to consider is that we're also at 72 on the RSI of Bitcoin dominance, but this is percentages that we're looking at, maybe not so much, technical analysis of using indicators might help us, but with Bitcoin dominance, we at least want to look at support and resistance levels to give us some bearing on where dominance will go in the short term and in the long term. But as of right now, it's pretty hard to gander on what dominance is going to do. I mean, it could very well if Bitcoin crashes, dominance can still go up because because altcoins will also bleed likely. Anyway, that's simply what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Give you an update. Uh, Christmas Day +1. I have sold a portion of my Bitcoin for the first time in this cycle. Anyway, that's all for today, you guys. Take care. Bye bye.